What's up, everyone? Welcome to another District Gooner Pod, brought to you by two Arsenal supporters in Washington, D.C. Episode 47, coming to you from the bench with my co-host, Steven. Say hi to the people.
Howdy. Hitting you up on a Tuesday. It's warm out here in the district, man. It's getting warm.
It is, dude. It's gotten so hot, and I mean, the high is 87 Fahrenheit. Which is pretty hot for the district. It can sometimes get above 90, but nothing we're not used to.
Yeah, come from that dry heat down in Arizona in the Southwest, which hits a little different, but you know, what do we got going on today? Off season, bro. How you feeling? How you feeling after it's been 3 weeks now? We had a Champions League final. Things have changed a little bit. How you feeling?
Things have changed a little bit. Yeah, 100%. I feel good. It's been nice to be away a little bit from the game, dude, and step out, smell the grass a little bit. We recently actually just went to the DC United game.
DC United!
Vamos United! So pretty fun, dude, which actually, I mean, we're going to get into this later, but it made me realize it's really fun to be in a place where you can go to a professional soccer match and spend just $25 on a ticket and sit behind the goal and just enjoy the game.
It was some real American football going on. I mean, we were down. DC United was down in 90 seconds in this game, 2-0 at half. There were 2 red cards. There was a penalty from VAR. Game was all over the place. Ended up 2-2, played Toronto. Got to see old Juventus guy, Bernardeschi. He was playing. He scored a nasty goal. Yeah, it is cool. The energy in the crowd was good. It took a while to get there, but the energy was fun. So yeah, we might have to hit a couple games this summer. Only $25, not bad.
Not bad, dude. It actually made me look up how much Arsenal tickets are. So $25. I looked up how much that is in British pounds, and it's about like $20. I mean, 20 pounds. So for 20 pounds, we went to that game, basically. But the Arsenal games, the lowest ticket starts at like £81. So that's about like close to $90 or so.
To be fair, the levels are much different.
Yeah, it is. But also it makes you think Arsenal have money to spend in the transfer window, dude. Like, that's kind of the vibe I got coming out of it.
Woo-wee. Let's get into that.
So there's already been so many rumors, right, to get into the transfers. But beforehand, just had some breaking news come across the timeline. We are recording on Tuesday after hours. So we're going to try to get into this rhythm. This will drop to you on a Wednesday. So kind of expect to hear from us this summer to help get you through the second half of the week, you know?
But you also know us here at District Gooner Pod. You can't put us in a box, baby. You can't put us in a box. So, we're here, there, everywhere, traveling this summer. So Tuesdays is what you can expect. But just like one of the boys, we're kind of free over here, free with the wind,
blowing in all directions, dude. Pause.
No.
So, okay, let's hit you with this breaking news real quick, man. This is from Sky Sports.
Well, I think first of all we should say that this is a very good exclusive story by Matt Lawton in the Times, and what he's been reporting this afternoon is really unprecedented. But we've got a situation where a Premier League club, Manchester City, the champions of the Premier League, are basically suing the Premier League. And what Manchester City are going to argue at this arbitration hearing, which will start on Monday, is that some of the Premier League's financial rules are unlawful and they are incompatible with UK competition law. Okay. And the rules they're talking about are the associated party transaction rules. Now, these were brought in 2021, and they're designed to make sure that if a club signs a commercial deal with a company that is linked to its owners, that deal has to be of fair value. And that is checked to make sure that it's of fair value.
So, dude, on the other side, let me get your reaction, man.
These are your four-time champs, right? 4 times in a row. These are your champions. Interesting. Suing the league because no, we didn't just win 4 times in a row. We did it correctly. We did it fairly. No one believes you. I guess it's called kind of like a feral cat is what I like to think. Their backs against the wall. They really don't have any other moves, in my opinion. 115 charges. They're obviously, I think they took that to court to get a 3-year extension on it, I believe. Their backs are against the wall. They're scratching, they're clawing, doing everything they can at this point.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like you hit that right on the head, and it's filled with just theatricality and deception, dude. It's like if you're coming after us and things are getting pretty tight, right? The hole is collapsing a little bit. What's the best move? Countersue them. Let's take the attention to that. And hey, you sue me, I sue you. I don't feel like that's appropriate. But hey, I guess we'll hear and see how it goes. Starting on Monday, it's just kind of unbelievable. To your point, you're 4-time champions, dude. Yeah,
our friend sent us the link to the Times, and I'll read just a little excerpt. So, within an 165-page legal document, City argued that they are the victims of discrimination, describing rules they say have been approved by their rivals to stifle their success on the pitch as a tyranny of the majority. And I think it's because in the Premier League, 14 teams have to vote for something. So it's a tyranny of the majority. I would like to say that's almost like democracy, but maybe where their owners come from, that is not the case.
Yeah, it feels like some democratic system was in place where the votes were taken. I don't really know too much about the process of it. I just know that the rule on its face value to me feels like it's an appropriate rule. It feels like it was put in place to keep folks from double dipping. I think we talked about that in the past when, as soon as Newcastle had a takeover, obviously the sponsorships all changed. Mm-hmm. Obviously, suddenly the amount of funding changed. So it's interesting. And I'm just glad, it's kind of funny because they're now bringing even more attention to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I honestly feel like their backs are against the wall. It's coming to an end. I feel like it is coming to an end soon versus when they got that extension. It is coming to an end, so we'll see what happens, man.
Well, and there's already been so much talk in the summer already about Pep potentially this being his last season.
Oh, yeah?
No real interest in renewing. So sometimes are
you reading between the lines here?
No. Sometimes I like to watch the CNBC. They do this show called Fast Money, and they sometimes talk about the sniff test, right? Some just the sniff test is not passing the stock for me. So situation, I feel like, yeah, there's a little bit of sniffing going around. I just put my dog in the other room, actually. So, but hey, listen, speaking of 4-time champions and kind of getting maybe too comfortable and used to being at the top, Real Madrid were recently in the final of the Champions League, and they secured their 15th title, which feels kind of unbelievable that 24 hours, not even within 24 hours after that, they announced the signing of Kylian Mbappe.
Crazy. The rich get richer, man. I had another friend send us a link. It's like when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. So the Warriors, I think they had won 2 in a row. For the third, they lost to LeBron and them boys. They said, hey, you know what? Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the world, come join our squad. They rung off another 3 in a row right there. So Kylian Mbappe joining that squad. That is crazy. I guess they're losing Toni Kroos. It's not a direct like-for-like replacement, but one of the best players in the world joining your squad. And you're already the best, so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's cool. Like, it's a footballing pod. I'm not going to lie to you.
Good for them.
If you have that kind of aura, that you can get him for free. And I mean, a lot of it goes back to, remember how many people want him to come to Arsenal just to like be Thierry, right? But that's the thing, I think, when you watch as a supporter, sometimes you are way too attached two things than the player, because maybe Thierry wasn't his idol. Just because he's a French striker doesn't mean he grew up idolizing him, right? He liked who he liked, man. He liked the CR7, bro. I don't know what to tell you. So if he wants to follow in those footsteps, you can't try to project that onto a player and then be upset about it.
This is something in like American sports that doesn't happen. The Yankees is the only team I can think of where like the best player, like I want to play for the Yankees because that puts me on the pedestal of like, I am the best. I am one of the best. Playing for Real Madrid basically put yourself on the pedestal. Like I am a top player in the world, right? Like the Galacticos and stuff.
Sure.
It is one club, one team versus the other big clubs in the world. Real to me is like the team. If you play for them, if you're a starter, like you're that guy. So he wanted to be that guy. And he is that guy.
He is 100% that guy, dude. And it'll be exciting with the new Champions League format. We're likely to maybe play them, right? I'm really interested in sort of seeing how the draw in this table for the Champions League plays out, but maybe that's for another pod, you know? For this one, look, man, we are 1 week into June, and the main talking points are really just around transfer rumors and everyone playing manager mode in FIFA in the off season, right?
Oh, we're not going to talk about DC United?
What do you mean?
No, I'm messing. Of course we're not, because why would we do that?
It's like, we started with that. So the transfer links, man, I'll be honest with you, it's so hard to put any weight behind anything I see, just because as a real Arsenal fan, I'm used to being linked with people that are just never going to happen. Isn't that always odd that Arsenal get linked with so many players randomly?
It is weird.
And then we sign someone who I have to go on Google.
Yeah. We're always linked, and none of our players are actually ever linked to go anywhere. That's the weird one.
I mean, Julian Draxler every summer.
Draxler, Villa, Benzema. There's like players that seemed like repetitively were mentioned.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same thing now, I feel like, with Isak. I feel like we've been linked with Isak for the last 5 years.
Bring him in.
I mean, do you actually think we can? There's a few links. So the thing is, I'll read the list here, man. It's like it's Benjamin Sesko, it's Rodrigo, it's Bukayo from PSV, Onana from Everton, Fofana from Monaco has popped up, Bruno G, Quinton Timber. That'll be fun. I think Jurian's brother. That would be fun. And then Isak. Who else? Am I forgetting other links?
There's that Neves kid from Benfica. I think there's a left backs in Netherlands. Maybe Feyenoord. I don't remember his last name. But yeah, there's a lot of links, not a lot of substance. The only one with like the one with the most substance is Sesko. Don't know much about him. And I got a fun little, let's throw it back to Champions League nights. I think Leipzig was playing Real Madrid. And I didn't get to watch the game. And I was texting Keon. And he was talking about the striker for Leipzig. And at the time, he had like platinum hair. It's like, this guy sucks. Because he couldn't finish. I think he was getting quite a few chances. Couldn't finish, a la Darwin Nunez. And guess what? It was that boy Sesko.
Yeah, it took me a while for that to sink in. That's who we were linked with, dude, when I saw it at first. And then... yeah, I just remember so vividly watching that game and thinking, this guy cannot score. It's hard to miss him. He's huge.
He's huge.
And he's big, he's fast, and you're like, and he's got that shiny hair.
Yeah. And that's what I would say. I watched another game that he's playing in Champions League. It's very, very hard to miss. He's a big dude, and he can haul ass. And I want to say, gave me those Darwin vibes, no lie. Like, he's just all over the place. Creating things. I don't think he scored in that game either. Don't know much about him. Of course, I watched a comp because
those comps, bro. Because we are so quick with the comps, bro.
So we watched a few. So at this point, I like the idea of getting him. Things have changed, in my opinion. Goal was to get a big striker, big name. We were talking about Ivan Toney for a while. He didn't have a great season. I think he kind of dropped off the table. Osimhen was an option. Guess what? Kai Havertz playing up top. I think he's won the spot. So it's like, hey, let's go. I think Sesko just turned 21. It's like, why spend big money on a player when we already have someone in our pocket that can do the job? Let's get someone that can understudy, that doesn't have to come in at a huge price tag and perform for us, but can be like that second option and learn the system. And then as he grows, spot could be his.
Dude, my biggest worry about this Sesko situation is, you remember like a few years ago, we were linked with Godin, I think, from Atleti.
Diego Godin. I don't remember that.
But it was just for him to get a new contract. This feels like a situation like that I'm worried a little bit, because Leipzig, they like him, right?
They do.
They do want to keep him too. So I just wonder sometimes, are we getting used just for a player to get a better contract at the club that he already is? That's my biggest fear, but it seems like we are pretty serious. I agree with you. That seems like the only one from all the links that I'm putting any weight behind, especially just because, I mean, the Euros are starting next week. So if there's going to be a deal that's getting done, it has to be in the first 2 weeks of June. Doesn't seem likely. Otherwise, you're looking at July, it feels like. And before that, the only player that I know for sure is David Raya. I think get that guy signed. Like, that's one signing already. And then second one, is just Sesko. I can't put any weight behind it, because I really think with the Olympics too, I don't expect any signings until the second half of July, dude.
Interesting. Because I know Bruno G was hot for a while, but Paqueta got himself in some trouble. He was supposed to go to City. Like, that was all the talk. So dominoes falling in place. Paqueta to City. That leaves Bruno as another center mid option. I know we were interested, but if Paqueta is not available anymore, I think City's interests have moved to Bruno. I could be wrong. I'm not a City fan, but that's just like the initial articles that were coming out. So he would be off the table for us. And I think he's coming with a big price tag, which I wouldn't be up for.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, Bruno G, we talked about that when we had Ron on the pod.
Yeah.
And I'm still of the same mind. I don't want him in the squad. I don't feel like it's a good addition. I feel like this guy has spent so much time talking about culture, signing the right kind of character. It would feel like completely against everything that he has been preaching.
Yeah. I feel like we talk about this all the time, but like, what is 100? The release clause or something is like 100 mil. Is he a 100 mil player to you?
No, absolutely not.
He is not to me either, but the market's been absolutely ruined by other teams. So now he's going to be listed as a 100 mil player. If he had a more reasonable price tag to him, that like, I don't know, I'm going to say 60 to 80 range. Like, yeah, I think he could fit the bill, play great at the left 8, but like, yeah, I don't think he fits the bill for a 100 mil player personally.
It's hard when that's like the going rate for center mids.
Crazy.
Like Caicedo, he's not 100 million signing.
No.
Bruno, I think 80 you're asking for too much. Honestly, I want to get into this the second half of the show when we talk about sort of what players we think are on the selling block. What do you think would constitute as a successful kind of transfer window for us? But for the players that we've been linked with, I look at the Onana, like 60 million to Everton for Onana?
Yeah, that's a no for me, bro. I like
find someone I'll have to Google. I'm okay with it.
The idea of like, so we have a Quentin Timber on there. Never watched the guy play, but I know he's not coming to Arsenal for like 60 million, 50. I like that. Something about that's like, oh, kind of interesting. Like, he could be a player. If he's anything like his brother, I like the way he looks. Like, I know we've only seen Timber play a little bit, but I like the way he looks. If he's anything like that, I think he could do a job for us. Got players on here like Isak. He would come with a huge price tag. Huge. He's the only one on that we just named that I think warrants a big price tag. Huge. The other guys, it's like, that's why, like Sesko, I think that's a good idea. You got Kai. This guy's coming in as your second option now. Upgrade on Eddie, probably. Can learn the system. And let's see what he can do.
He has Champions League experience.
Yeah. That's a good, I feel like to me, it seems smart.
I saw a stat today that said he was the youngest player in the Bundesliga to score in 7 consecutive matches. So look, I only saw one Champions League game. I'm not gonna put too much weight behind it.
This guy stinks.
And he's only 21. No, I hear you. I think it's a smart signing. It's a signing that it feels like this is where we are now. This phase of the progression of the squad, because you don't require too many changes, and you also have to give the benefit of the doubt to the players you already have who are going to get better season after season. It might not be a linear projection, but they can. And on top of that, yeah, it has to be just really key signings. And I also like the fact that, look, if we do sign a Sesko for under 60, there is resale value. I think that's been the biggest lesson that the Arsenal owners have learned and are trying to absolutely avoid. It's like now we're at a stage where you can't have a 24, 25-year-old Kai Havertz lead the line, get a 21-year-old that maybe if it's not to the full potential you expected in 2 years, there's still that resale value.
Yeah.
And you can move the player along.
I like that. So what are your hopes, expectations? Do you have like a, 2 forwards, 1 midfielder? Do you have a person in mind that you're like hoping for? What are your come September, who do you want to see with Arsenal?
Yeah, I think in the next 3 months, what I would constitute as a successful window for us is that we have brought in 4 new players. That's just my number for it.
Okay.
I think, and I'm counting David Raya as 1.
Okay.
Already done. So there's 3 more spots to fill for me. I think you buy 4 players, and the main objective is freeing up some funds for potentially more signings in January at the same time. Because all in all, the net spend for us, I mean, let's say you're the board, right? How much of a war chest are you really giving Mikel Arteta to go out there and make signings? I know we've got a new sponsorship, the Soba training center that they got. So some new deals kicking in. Obviously, the Champions League, finishing second twice in the Premier League. So there's funding there. But what's that percentage that you're really telling him, like, this is the figure that you have for the summer war chest? What's your number?
Like it's FIFA career mode.
Yeah. What's that number?
Expectations? Or is that what you're asking?
No,
me?
the number that you're giving the manager.
How much am I giving him?
Yeah, how much?
I have
how
no
much
clue.
do you have to go and buy this summer? Do you think?
I mean, I can open my wallet. I got like I got like $40. I think you go do it. That seems like if you look at the projection of the team, like you gotta go do it. You have to spend to keep up with those guys. You just have to. That's the way the trend is, man.
Yeah, but my point is that I feel like the maximum we're going to spend is 200 million.
It all depends on the goal. It all depends on who leaves, and I know we're going to get to that in a little bit. But that's it.
Before any sales, I think before any sales, this is where you are. You have 200 million. I can't see them giving him more than 200 million. And based on that, if a Sesko is 65 release clause and a David Raya is 30 million, that's half of your 200 gone. So I can only see 2 other players being signed. That's why I think the total budget for spend is like 200. You would want it to be more than that?
No, I'm just saying I don't have enough knowledge to even throw out a number. Like I have no clue. I have no clue what the number is.
So I think in the past, just think about the last few transfer windows that we've had.
Yeah, but I feel like it's different because we've been able to release players like contracts and things like that, where the value can change drastically. I don't know. Let's just say 200 million. I think that's a good amount to pull in 4 players. I do.
Do you want more than 4 players?
Yeah, I do. I want 5. If you're counting David Raya, and I'm counting a second keeper because I'm counting on Ramsdale leaving. So that's 2 keepers, and then I want 1 in each phase. I want a defender, a midfielder, and a forward. So that's the 5. 3 outfield players, 2 goalkeepers. And my expectation is because Ramsdale is leaving. That's why I'm throwing that in the 5th. But I think we need 1 player in each phase, personally.
Okay. I don't think we need a defender.
I think we need a left back.
I think I don't think we're going to sign a defender. Let me put it that way.
I think we do. I don't think there's enough cover currently as shown this season.
So your want is at an outside back. You don't even want a center back.
I mean, if he can do both roles, excellent. But like Kiwior, I want an upgrade on that basically. So you got Timber, right, White, Tomiyasu. I got those 3. And again, I'm counting on Zinchenko leaving. So like part of our conversation here, we're off because I'm thinking something and you're not. I'm counting on Zinchenko not being with the team.
So let's just talk about that then. Let's just talk about who you think is going to stay and who you think like is gone.
Ooh, all right. I think gone. We have Zinchenko. I think he's going to go this summer. I think Smith Rowe goes. Nketiah goes. Reece Nelson. Aaron Ramsdale. I'll throw in Kieran Tierney. Nuno Tavares, if you even remember that guy. He's gone. And Sambi Lakanga. So anybody that was pretty much on loan Marquinhos, I'm not going to even talk about him because I'm sorry, but it doesn't really matter. But those are the significant ones that I see going.
You don't think Kiwior is going?
I don't see him leaving, no. Because then if he leaves, then we would need another option. I think he can play center back, so it's just more cover for us.
You don't think TP5 is leaving?
I do not.
You don't think Fabio Vieira is leaving?
No. I think we're being very hopeful. If an offer comes in for those guys, I think, yeah, they could leave. But I feel like it's very hopeful. From what we've seen the last, 3-4 years, man, on players leaving, very hopeful to see them leave at a reasonable price that we want.
But a lot of things have changed in the last few years. In the last few years, we were trying to move on players who were towards the end of their careers. They were all like 28 plus. I think in the last few years, if you think about some of the younger sales that we've had, a player who hasn't been talked about on any of the podcasts or the media is Flo Balogun. It's like the guy got an American citizenship and they just stopped talking about him. But it's a 40 million sale right there. Joe Willock,
I like it.
40 million sale right there.
I
Those
like
are
what you're
different
saying.
sales than the others that we've had in the past. And maybe we just have this recency bias of thinking it's going to be really hard to move these players and we'll just take like 10 million for them. I don't feel like that's the right way of thinking about it.
So Joe Willock, when was that?
4 years ago, right? It was like at the start of Mikel's reign.
So that's it. Joe Willock and Flo Balogun. That's all you got. And now you're trying to move on who? Smith Rowe, Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, TP5. Like, what are we doing? That doesn't pass the sniff test. That's way too many players to be moving from our track record. Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. I believe what I've seen in the past. That's like where I'm at. How can I see all these players moving if I've never seen it happen before? Like, that's just it.
So how many sales?
I hope so. Like, I hope I can cross my fingers and close my eyes and curl my toes and like, please. But that's not how this works.
Oh, well, so how many do you think we will sell? How many do you want to see us sell, and how many do you think we will actually sell? And you've just listed a bunch of players. I've just listed a bunch of players. That's like about 12 or maybe 14 players that are kind of on the block.
Yeah.
El Neni and Cedric already gone. Thanks for your service.
It's the young English boys. Those are the ones I think of. They have a real shot at leaving. Ramsdale, Smith Rowe, Nelson, and Nketiah. I say there's 4. I could see 3 of them going. Of the 4, 3.
Of the 4, you can see 3 of them leaving. Okay, I can only see 2 of them leaving.
Because I think Nketiah would have suitors. Smith Rowe would have suitors in Ramsdale. Nelson, I don't really think he has suitors. But, like I'm saying, I'll close my eyes and cross my fingers.
I don't think Smith Rowe gets sold. Why do you want that?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Say more.
I feel like you're trying to really pin me down here. It's not about what I want and like, like I'm not here in the boardroom talking about Smith Rowe's a great player, because I think he's a great player and I think he could have played this season, but he didn't. He just didn't. So I don't see, if you're not going to play him, why keep him? It just doesn't make sense to me. If I'm the manager, maybe I would have played him because I like the player and I think he could have done things in multiple games. Mikel doesn't think so. So if I'm now I'm on playing the boardroom side of it. It's like, well, if you're not going to play him, Mikel, then let's sell him. Why would we keep this guy on the books? Eddie Nketiah, you trusted him, you wrote him, it didn't work out, then you stopped playing him at all. So then why would we keep him? Let's sell him.
So do you think that this window, the biggest point is for Edu to kind of override Mikel on some things and say, no, like, this is what we're doing. We're selling this player.
Yeah, if that's what it takes. If it's Mikel, like, well, I could use him potentially.
That feels like what happened with Eddie this past summer, right?
Yeah. To me, I don't like that. They're young. First of all, it's for the kid. Smith Rowe should be playing. I'm sorry, but he should be playing somewhere, right? Maybe if it's a Villa, maybe it's a Crystal Palace, maybe it's a Wolves or something. Like, he should be going somewhere to play the game. He's not playing. Eddie Nketiah should be going somewhere to play. That's like 1. And then 2 is like, if we're ever going to make the money on them, now's the time to do it. Because if we're not going to play them, their value is just going to keep going down.
Okay. I'm still just trying to figure out what you want to see versus what you think we will see. Because, like, for me, I want to see Eddie and Ramsdale sold. I don't want Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson to be sold from those 4. Now, I can see all 4 being sold.
I want what's best for the club, and I think what's best for the club is for them to go, because they're not going to play. That's what I think. We should buy other players that will play. It's almost as simple as that. What's best for the club? Keeping a Smith Rowe on the bench to play 10 games a year? I don't know. I think we could probably do something else, personally.
Okay. And from the other ones, I mean, Sambi, that seems like that one's already done. Tavares, I don't think, like, I want Tavares to be sold, but I don't see him being sold.
I agree with that.
I think KT, I want him sold.
Yeah, same thing.
I don't see him being sold.
I have no clue. I don't know much about his Sociedad time. I think he played a couple of Champions League games and stuff, but I would hope that he gets sold, because if he comes back into this team, the same thing. He's not going to play. He's just not going to play. It's a waste.
Well, you said earlier we need a left back, and we should go and sign a left back.
He doesn't fit the profile for this team. I like him. I like Kieran Tierney. I've always liked him. I like the way he plays, but the coaches or the manager doesn't like the way he plays, so I want what's best for the team, so sell him. Why keep a player on your bench that's not going to play? I don't understand that. Like, I'm surprised you're saying that. Like, why keep a player that's 23 and doesn't play? That's weird. Like, that's weird to me that we would want that.
Well, I think it's because they've come through the academy. Like, for those two examples, I think Smith Rowe is just, he wears number 10. I think if you sell him, you have to go and sign a number 10. That's the thing. And can you go and find a number 10 in this transfer market? I don't know. I don't think so. That's why I feel like, well, that's the only one that still has to reach its ceiling in front of my eyes. And I want that for all of us. I want that for all of us, Steven.
I feel like we're getting more stuck on the like Smith Rowe part of it. I think everybody loves Smith Rowe. He's us, right? He's, what is it? Croyne De Bruyne. Like, everybody loves the guy, but why have a number 10? If we had so he's number 10. He's the number 10. Didn't play much this season.
He was hurt half the season.
Yeah, and that's fair. Do you think if he played, we would have won the league?
I think he needs to work on his defensive work rate. That's definitely one of his things. You can tell with Mikel, that's a big thing for him. And it's like, well, if I put you in the middle as that left-sided 8, I'm not fully satisfied with your defensive work rate. And if I put you out on the wing, I'm also not satisfied with your defensive work rate. So it is partly like, dude, Smith Rowe, can you put in a fucking shift, please? And then you'll get the position, because otherwise, yeah, he's probably going to end up at a mid-table team. It's probably located in London because he seems to be a very family boy. Yeah. And then he'll just, he'll be a Jared Bowen. That's the perfect profile for him, right? I can see Smith Rowe having a very similar career to Jared Bowen.
If he ended up like Jared Bowen, I think he'd be very happy with himself. Top scorer at West Ham this year. That's a level above him right now.
I think he can reach that level.
It's levels above him right now, I think.
I mean, career-wise.
Yeah. And I'm saying if that ends up being his career, I think he'd be happy with that.
It is a good career.
It is a good career. So let's just say, Smith Rowe, he doesn't get sold. I think then you probably have to sell Fabio. Like,
why? Why do you have to sell Fabio?
To me, there's such an issue with having these players in the team that don't play. I can't get over the fact that we have these squads and players are not playing. What's the point of having players and not playing them, Keon? What is the point?
It's really hard because with this particular season, they were both injured for more than 4 months of the season. So that just seems to be escaping us. And we've had terrible luck in the past with rushing people too quickly, ruining their career and what they could have been because they didn't have their appropriate recovery. And so on the flip side of it, I feel like we've taken it slow. I think there is a player in Fabio Vieira. I don't think he needs to be sold. Smith Rowe, I think there's a player in Smith Rowe. I don't think he needs to be sold. And especially when they're both had this injury-driven season when their stock is low. Why are we trying to do that? I'd rather have these conversations when the guys had a great season, and I want to debate that. Can't let him go. He's had a great season.
Yeah. I hope the best for both of those guys. If they stay with the club, I wish nothing but the best for them. These are just my thoughts from watching our team. De Bruyne. Smith Rowe, consistently hurt, injury prone. I hope he's not hurt. And I hope maybe they can write a new contract this summer where it's like, Mikel, you gotta play the kid 25 games this year. Like, cool. I'd be cool with that. I think he could have done things for us. I really do. But didn't get the opportunities. And if we're moving in another direction, I am also okay with that because I think they've made smart decisions since Mikel, Edu have joined the club. Smart decisions have been made. So whatever they want to do, I'm cool with.
Okay. All right. Whatever they want to do, you're cool with. And so you also want to see Zinchenko be sold, you said? There's been links with him and going to Bayern, potentially.
Yeah.
So you think Zinchenko and Kiwior potentially see you later and let's get one solid player who can play in both those positions?
Probably. We probably need an outright center back. If we lost, Kiwior's an outright center back. I mean, obviously he can play left back, but we should look at him as an outright center back option. Ben White, Timber, Tomiyasu can probably do it, but that's also our cover at the outside backs. Zinchenko's probably the most interesting one because he can only play left back. That's all he can do. Lost his spot. Didn't really have confidence to go back to him when Kiwior was playing there. That's why I think he should go. Like it seems, it's just something about that one kind of smells funny to me. The crowd already got onto him. It's kind of like the Xhaka thing. Like sometimes you cut your loss, and I like Zinchenko. What if I'm here? Would I want to see him in the team? Yeah, I would love to see Zinchenko play another season with us because I think he can be a player for us. And when we play teams like, I'm gonna say like Wolves, Bournemouth, any of the teams coming up, put him at left back and he'll do the job and he'll be a great offensive player for us. But I'm a fan. I'm not the freaking coach, man. So I'm trying to imagine, what does the coach want? What does the manager want? I don't think he really wants Zinchenko in his squad. That's what I think.
That's super interesting. Okay. No, I hear you on that. Okay. So I said I think 4 buys would be good, and I think we will just have 4 new incomings. You're at 5 there.
Yeah.
For outgoings, you listed, I think, at least a handful. Do you have how many outgoings for you to be satisfied with the business done?
You know we were talking about Smith Rowe. If we sell these English guys, it's like the pure profit thing, and this is like for FFP. That's like pure profit because they're an academy guys. That's a huge. I don't know
It's kind of a double-edged sword, though, right?
Huh? Because
if you get the full profit of them being homegrown, and if you sell all 4, then I think we're going to be short a few, like at least 2 homegrown players, right?
Correct. I mean, I don't even know what our homegrown status is. I'd have to go through it.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Probably Ben White.
I think you need
Declan Rice.
You need 8, I think, out of your 25.
We're gonna have to fact check ourselves and get back to you next pod, everybody.
I think you need 8 of 25. I think that's right. But the players, I mean, Saka, Ben White.
I think Martinelli probably has status.
David Raya has status, I think.
I would think he does, yeah. I think he's played his entire career over here.
And there's a lot of talk of moving the Nwaneri kid up.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan.
Our boy Ethan.
I'm just going to call him Ethan for sure.
That's funny.
But that's the thing about it, though, is I'm fully on board with getting Ethan to the first team next season. I feel like it's not Arsenal Football Club if we don't have a 17-year-old on the bench.
Yeah, that's right. So buy English. So second keeper. Can buy a backup English keeper, maybe. That's a whole other conversation.
But they don't have to necessarily
man.
be English.
They don't have to be English.
They have to just have turned, like, before they turn 21, I think you have to spend like a few years in the country or something like that.
Because we just let go of that, the other goalkeeper, Okonkwo.
Yeah, that one was weird to me, but I think it was for the best of the player.
Probably.
It seemed like one of those situations.
He seemed like he was doing well.
Yeah. I wish he would have stayed.
Yeah.
See, I think it's cool. That's like the best position to fill with your academy.
Yeah.
If you got 3 academy goalkeepers, like top one's already good, and then 2 backup, that's a group, dude.
So if we're talking about you want to buy, you said put 4 players down. 4
players down.
So does that
net spend under 200?
So that means 4 players move on?
I think 6. My ideal situation is that 8 players have moved on. I feel like
so we have two that left, El Neni and Cedric, that were kind of like in the first team squad. 2 players that left.
Yeah, so I think 6 more on top of that would be good. Like Sambi is 1, KT is 1, Ramsdale and Eddie. That's 4. Tavares, I would like to see go. I don't know if he will. Zinchenko, I think Zinchenko goes. I agree. The 6th spot, it really does come down to maybe a Kiwior also goes. I don't think Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira leave. I really don't see those 2 players moving on. Yeah. That is going to be my take for the summer. Those 2 players stay.
Have you seen there's already interest in Smith Rowe? Have you
There's
seen that?
always going to be interest in Smith Rowe. After he had that great season where he scored in like 10 games in a row.
3 years ago.
He was coming off the bench. Yeah, 3 years ago. The immediate summer following that, he was linked with Aston Villa and West Ham. And now the immediate summer after that, he's linked with Fulham. And he's probably already also linked with Aston Villa. I'm sure if they were in for him before, they might come back for him.
I have it's a tweet from Graham Bailey. It's a TBR, which I'm not sure.
He's going to be linked next season too, I bet you.
So Arsenal, Smith Rowe has been informed that by Arsenal that the club will not stand in his way to move on this summer, but want more than 30 mil for the player. Brentford, Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Wolves are amongst the clubs interested. I just wouldn't be surprised, man. I feel like your hopes are really up for this guy to stay. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. You're going to be crushed.
Won't be the first time Arsenal Football Club have just stepped all over my heart, dude. That comes with the territory, man.
Hope is all we have.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, the player I didn't mention is I want to see TP5 sold. I've said what I've said in the past about him. Last summer, I was on board, get him out. Yes, did I see enough to say, oh, he's a really great player and he's probably not another Thomas Partey in the transfer window that I can think of. It's not a like-for-like replacement for him at this moment, but I like to see him sold.
I would like to see him go. I would totally like to see him go. I kind of see him as like that Zinchenko mode, though. The right offer comes in, he'll go. If not, keep him. Like, that's just what I think will happen. I'd like to see him go, bring in another player.
You know what it is, Steven? I'm just tired of this manager toying with me, honestly. At the last game of the season, and he gives me the Rice at the 6, Smith Rowe and Odegaard outside of him. And it's just like, you can't do that to me, bro. Why do you do that to me?
Yeah,
Why don't I want to see that?
You.
Why wouldn't that be my midfield trio next year? I'd love to see that.
I'm with you. It's like even to put in like Smith Rowe's head, like, maybe we'll play you next year, buddy. Here's the last day. Go on in there. Interesting. He's always playing games, bro.
This guy is mind games, bro.
Always playing games.
Always trying to make sure everyone sees the duck or the rabbit. Oh man. All right. Well, that was a hell of a conversation. I think it went all over the place, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. And I think the one thing that I want to kind of just to put the bow tie on this transfer talk is I'm going to just say a name and then I want you to tell me the minimum amount that you would accept for that player. Just on the top of your head.
Now this is I can give you my number, yeah. I'll give it to you.
Zinchenko.
30.
Kiwior.
25.
TP5.
20.
Smith Rowe.
30.
Vieira.
30.
Eddie.
20.
Reese.
10.
Ramsdale.
25.
KT.
15.
Tavares.
10.
Sambi.
Tavares, I'll go with 5 on Tavares. what was the last one?
Sambi.
15.
Okay. I think the only one that kind of shocked me was when you said 20 for TP5.
That might be high. I think he only has a year
left. That might
be
high.
I think he only has a year left on his contract, man.
Oh, I see.
A year left. He's 30.
You take 20 for Eddie?
I said what I said.
Wow. I liked it. That was a good rapid fire, man. You really had those numbers ready. All right. Well, it's a bench episode, and for those of you who've been following us for a little bit now, you know that we like to play a little game called Mystery Man on bench episodes. Do you want to take it, or should I?
I will go first today.
Hit me.
This man has played in one MLS All-Star game.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He has played in 3 countries, club ball. This is for club ball. England, Switzerland, and Turkey. He played 3 matches at the 2018 World Cup. I know you're all over the place.
What? The World Cup is in this? The MLS is? Okay.
He's known for scoring bangers, and he's played under Wenger, Une, and Mikel. 31 years old.
You're talking about an MLS All-Star game. Oh. You're talking about Xhaka, dude?
No.
Wait. Okay.
You're close, though. He played for Arsenal in the All-Star game.
Yeah. Okay. My gosh. Okay, he played for Arsenal in the All-Star game. So he's an Arsenal man. He's played in 3 countries, you said. What were the countries he's played in?
Switzerland to start his career. And then he did a little loan spell in Turkey. A loan spell while with Arsenal.
What were some of the other hints you mentioned? This is hard, dude. I'm struggling.
Bangers. He scored bangers from the center of the midfield. Secure passer, baby. Also known as probably the best Egyptian in the Prem.
Oh, dude. not Mo, dude. Not Mo on his goodbye.
Exactly.
Fair, dude.
Goodbye, Mo.
Dang, dude. That was good.
We've both been big fans of Mo through the years.
I've really enjoyed his time at Arsenal.
Yeah. Good. I mean, obviously it's squad dude, but even when he played, you know what you're going to get from him? The bangers, of course. You always shoot. Love it. Yeah, I hope the best for him wherever he goes.
I do too. I think he's really committed to becoming a coach.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
I saw he had posted something about completing his A license from the UEFA, and I feel like he would be a great coach. I don't know if he would be a great first team manager. I don't know anything about that aspect of it, but I bet he's a really good coach to have on staff. And I really do wish him all the best. It's exciting. You look, he played for like more than 8 years, and you could expect 2 bangers a year. So no, you're right. That was a good mystery, man, dude. I wonder if any of the listeners got it. Oh, my dog is crying. Give me 1 second. I wonder why. Okay, should I go?
Let's do it.
So, in honor of the Euros starting next week, which we'll try to have a Euro preview pod next week, but I thought in honor of that, I'd pick an international route.
Ooh.
So, not an Arsenal player. That's your first hint.
But he is European.
Yeah, he's pretty European, man. This player has appeared in the most tournaments in a squad at the Euros. He has played or has been in the squad of 5 tournaments representing his country.
Okay.
So long career. The player is also known for being one of those loyal guys who's just with one club kind of man. But towards the end of his career, did get shipped out eventually.
Ooh.
Let me see if I can find the club. Do you want to know, or do you have a guess?
His original club or the club that he moved to? Give me the club that he moved to.
I'm going to give you the club that he moved to. The club that he moved to was FC Porto.
The sniff test says he might be a defender. Pepe.
Oof. Close.
No!
He was a teammate of Pepe, actually. At Porto and at the previous club.
So he was a Real boy.
You're getting warmer.
He's a defender?
No.
Was he a goalkeeper?
He was a goalkeeper.
He was Iker Casillas.
Good job, dude.
Oh, man. Dang, I went with my chest there, Pepe.
No, I mean, that was a good guess. I don't know if Pepe has featured in as many tournaments. So there's actually 2 players that have played in 5 tournaments. Can you guess the other player?
Still playing?
Still playing. Not in Europe, though.
Ooh, then no.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Christy.
Yeah.
And he's obviously in the squad again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm assuming that he's in the squad. Oh, yeah. Oh, you counting that man out?
Yeah, I thought he was done on international level. That's kind of exciting.
I bet he's in the squad. I'm like positive he is. Leo. I'm sure Leo's going to play in the Copa.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. That was fun. You beat me, man. That was good. I gave better hints, though.
Yeah, probably. Let's all start.
You got me with these trick shots and stuff. Misdirection, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. All right, man. Well, thanks everyone for spending time with us. As always, if you like the podcast, please rate or leave a review. It really helps us get in front of new audiences, and we appreciate it. Also, share it on the socials, right? It's the best way for others to find out. So don't forget, you can write into the show, districtgooner@gmail.com. If you have any ideas, you have any questions, anything you think we should try out this summer, send us a note.
Be easy.